Minnesota. I'm Alan Tracy.
And I'm Rahana Power.
And today we have Quentin Dupuy. Am I saying that right? I know it's a French name, but...
Yeah, you're saying it right. If you would say it in French, it would be Dupuy, but it's fine.
Okay.
But thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And Quentin, you're living like around the Paris area, is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just like a kilometer south from Paris. So it's Paris when it suits me, and it's not Paris when you're making fun of Parisian. I choose depending on the question.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah. So as you listeners maybe can tell now, we're not speaking to someone who lives in Minnesota, so we're kind of traveling a bit, but he does have a Minnesota connection. So we'll get into that later here.
Yeah, I want to hear about your connection together. I'm very excited for this episode. Quentin, thank you for joining us. Before we do dive into all of that, though, how you two know each other and your connection to Minnesota and experience with film, I'm very curious. Can you tell us about a special, fun, interesting talent that you have that others may or may not know about?
Well, there is something. I'm not sure you could qualify it as a talent. But I used to play video games a lot, still do, way too much for my work.
Yes.
And the co-writer I'm still working with, we used to play StarCraft 2 a lot and, brainstorm ideas, basically do story meeting playing StarCraft.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure it's the best stuff ever, and we definitely were not good playing, but it was for us, it was a way of just, like, your mind is like kind of in autopilot, and it gives way to some ideas and stuff that you would not have, I guess, just talking into a room. So yeah, not sure if that qualifies as a talent, but we used to do that like a lot.
Yeah, that's really interesting though. I love that. Getting creative juices from that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not that bad as a team in StarCraft. We were okay. Far from being professional, but we were okay.
That's right. I'm sure that you're better than we are. So.
Yeah. Okay, Quentin. Now we'll start diving into you first here.
Okay.
How did you get started in film?
Well, I have like I don't know if there is like a classical path to filmmaking, because everyone's journey is different. But as cliche as it is, I always knew I wanted to be a director since I was a kid. We can come back to that later. So I knew what film school I wanted to do in France. So I worked hard to get in. I got in. I did my 2 years, film school near Paris. And then I started to have some internship on film set and stuff, and that's how I got in, pretty much.
Wow.
So pretty straightforward in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, go ahead, Al.
You had like formal education for it?
Yeah. I did a 2 years film school. So I wouldn't know like the equivalent for you guys, but it's kind of a technical school, like a 2 years degree. And you have like, so it's a public, same in France, you have public school and private, film school. And if you want to do like a public film school, you only have like 20 in France. There are 5 different options, like, image, which is what I did, editing, production, sound, and one that's more TV oriented. And at the time, there were only 6 public schools that did the image option. So if you want to be like a director, a DP, a camera operator, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I got into the one near Paris, in Boulogne, and I was really, really happy about it. And yeah.
Wow, no kidding. So you're a director, but then I might be bouncing around, Alan. I apologize. You're a director, but then do you also do some acting as well?
Yeah, I used to, not so much anymore. So I worked for a year after my school on various film sets as an intern, different roles, and I wanted to keep learning as a director, and I was like, okay, I knew I was okay on the technical side, and I was like, what was missing from my school was like we didn't work with a lot of actor at the time because my school is really technical. It's more for DP, camera operator, and director is more something that you work on your own with the help of your teacher and your coworker and stuff. So I was like, okay, I have very few experience with actors, so I'm going to do an acting school. And it started like as a 1 week, program, and I really liked it. And I was like, well, maybe I'm going to do the first year of the school. And I did 2 years of acting school after that.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what was your first film role then? And when did that happen? Did it happen like during that school time, or was it really your first like real film role was after that?
No, it was during school time. So we have to have, during the school, we have to have 2 internships. So one the first year and one the second year to kind of validate your diploma. And the first one I did was as an intern on the location manager department. So, but technically I did some TV internship, like a 5-day internship at a news TV show when I was like 18 or 17 or something. But it was not really film set, but the real film set experience I had on a feature film was that, like with a location manager team as an intern on a film, on a feature. So, yeah.
Wow.
And I realized I knew absolutely nothing about the film set.
It's okay. It's how we learn.
Yeah.
Sorry, say again?
That's how we learn.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But, you think you have learned everything from your teacher and you know film set for, and then you're in the middle of it and you have no idea what you're doing. But, that's the fun of it. You just have to learn.
What's the one thing that you learned, like jumping into it like that in your internships, that you wish you would have maybe been taught? Or is there anything?
Gosh, I guess it's like everything. I got something specific. They don't teach, at least from my school. Oh, hello, you cut. They don't teach, in my school, I felt like they didn't teach us what the real hierarchy on a film set and the relationship between the department and all the alchemy between the departments really is. It's like, because when you're on a film set at school, you know everyone, it's small teams, and all of a sudden you're like and it was quite big for a French film, but you're like, there is 30 person and you got like 2 main actors and everything, and all of a sudden like you have no idea how to interact with all the other department, and especially I guess in the location manager department, where basically every other department comes to you every time there is a problem to be solved. Like, we have to have a spare light for tomorrow because you have one that broke, and then the grips are going to tell you to go to the rental houses to get, I don't know, something else, and you have to learn. It was really hard as like a beginning, but I loved it because, well, I've learned every department because of being in the location manager assistant. You're the first one on the set and the last one to go. So it's like the hardest part of the. I always say, like, I really wish everybody that wants to be a director or a DP, like, go get an internship or a job with a location manager crew, because once you've done that, pretty much, okay, now you know what the real nitty gritty and all the difficulties, like the practical difficulties on the jobs are. And you can then understand when, as a director, you're asking stuff from your team, what are the consequences to that? What are the time it's going to take? So I think that it's really important. Like, it's really humbling, I guess, as an experience to do that. It was for me.
Absolutely.
Wow. So, like, in your film school, did you ever learn on film itself, or was it always digital video or something? Or
I was lucky. I was the last generation at my school to have classes and to be able to shoot on film stock. we did like a short film on Super 16 millimeters. We were the last one to do that, so I'm really lucky. And I was camera operator on the film, so I was overjoyed.
Yeah, that was kind of my experience too. The last wave that got
that's amazing.
Like your final film had to be in 16 millimeter negative format, so it's like, that's so expensive. But
it is. But the feeling when you have your ear against the film stock, and you can hear the mechanism of the camera just spinning the film in it, and you're like, and you got that, and anyways, like every second that passes is a lot of money, so you better so you pray for the director that she says action and cut really when just what we need. But
yeah, I think that might be why my takes are so like refined and short to the point, and maybe why I do fewer takes is because of that old habit.
Yeah,
because I'm just used to like it's costing a lot of money.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. Like it's a good, because with digital it's so easy just to press a rec, and but it does cost money. It costs obviously less, but it still does cost a lot of money, because when you start shooting RAW or ProRes or whatever, like big format, well, terabyte of data starting to add up, and it's not cheap. I mean, if you want like nice hard drive and you don't want to lose your footage and stuff, it's not cheap. So yes, I think it's a good discipline to have to have learned on at least just a bit on film stock. But I really want to do it again in 35. As cliche as it is, I'm like, I really like digital. It's just a different format and tool, and just something different in toolbox. I'm not like we should go back to film stock or just all go digital. It depends on the story you want to tell, but yeah, the texture and the feels, and it's something I've loved to do again.
Do you prefer one over the other? Like, if you could only make one film and got to do everything exactly how you wanted, would you have one preference versus the other, or does it really just depend on a lot of other factors about the film itself for you?
Well, having not since I didn't have any other experience with film stock since like 8 years or something, I wouldn't know. But I think I'd say it really depends on the story. It's really like a story decision. Like the medium has to serve what you're telling as a director, and with the DP and stuff. So, but yeah, I would shoot in film. Don't tell.
Absolutely.
Just for the hype.
Yeah.
I guess, Quentin, do you have we're kind of switching gears here. Do you have any favorite actors that you like for film or TV, I suppose, too?
Well, just because I'm just a huge Star Wars, fan and nerd and everything. Well, Mark Hamill or Harrison Ford obviously would top my list.
Yeah.
I'd love to work with Anthony Hopkins as well.
Ooh.
I think it's just amazing. Well, not going to be original as well, but Meryl Streep, all the big names that today that just keep showing after decades in the industry that they can still surprise us and be at the top of the game. And I'm like, wow, how do you do that? Just to learn from them, from the experience and what they can do as an actor. It's just amazing.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of old school on that on that forefront.
No, I'm with you on every single name that you just dropped. So I hear you.
I agree.
So what's your favorite thing about either the acting process or the filmmaking process as a director, and why?
Well, it's a broad question.
It is, yeah. No wrong answer.
For the acting, well, I'm not doing it so much nowadays because I'm focusing more on directing. But for the acting, it's just the way that you can try stuff and be free on a film set as a character. Like I love the fact that there is no wrong answer as an actor, and you can just try stuff with your partner and see what happens and see what emotion arise in you and in your partner, and what, like the joy of letting a scene taking you somewhere you didn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
I think as an actor, that was what I liked the most, like really the discovery of the process, and
Absolutely.
kind of knowing that you're being guided by the director and trusting the vision and stuff. And yeah, as a director, of course, it's like, I don't know, just telling a great story, like sharing. It's like, well, trying to say something, and when it resonates with people, I think that's the best joy you have with filmmaking. Like, because like if people have an emotional response to your film, like whether it's the one you intended or not, because that's not, as a director, once your film is done, it's it's out there. It's not in your control what people are gonna. Maybe you're gonna you have prep a scene and say, okay, I want to simplify, like I want people to be really sad in the scene, and maybe some people are gonna find it funny, but that's legit. Like every emotion that the audience is gonna feel is legit from the experience. But as long as they feel something and they take something with them, I think that's what I love the most. From the end result point of view, and for the filmmaking process in itself, just working with the crew and trying to find the story you want to tell. Because you have a screenplay, but every crew member and cast member are gonna add something to it, and the DP is gonna add something to it, and the group's gonna add something, and just being challenged, like as a director, and you always have like a sometimes very specific idea of the story you want to tell, or the screenplay, especially if you wrote it. But finding new stuff because other people's gonna have different perspective on it, and discussing about it, finding that, and trying to find, okay, maybe we can tell the story even better. Maybe we can find another way to do that. So the collaboration with all the cast and crew to try just to tell the best story we can is something I find enormous joy in it. I think it's wonderful. All the creativity you can get from it. It's it's energizing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, talk about our collaborations overseas. Now we've done kind of 2-ish projects, if you will, in that manner.
Yeah.
One being the Across series, which was kind of a guerrilla style filmmaking, and then The Sound of Winter, which you helped me with the translation. I hope everything turned out okay. I'm interested to hear your opinion on that. But yeah, what do you think about like just collaborating in that way, where it's like you're not in the same country, you're not I don't know, we're not in the same time zone, so we're like sending each other messages at 3 a.m. on the other side, so
well, I love to think that we're kind of precursor in a way, because everybody's doing it with the pandemics, and we're like, we've done that 6 years ago, guys. We've walked across borders out of home 6 years ago. But jokes aside, for me the process was no different as if we were in the same place. We had a story we wanted to tell, and it only expanded the possibilities, because if we would have been both in Paris or in Minnesota, well, we would have one set of of location we could scout and stuff we could do, and all of a sudden, well, we could do twice as much. So I see it only as an expansion of possibilities of the story we wanted to tell, and how we can tell a story without being in the same place. That was really, really nice. I mean, loved it. It was an experimentation, and I think it turned really nice from what we've done. And it was guerrilla style, low budget, just pretty much you, me, a couple of friends to help us out. And I really loved because we didn't have like a fixed screenplay when we started. We had like a general idea of, okay, this is a story, the starting point of the story we wanted to tell, you and I. And then it was like one episode each, and you didn't really know where I was going to take you, and then where your response episode was going to take me back after that. And I love that, like and it goes back to what I said, like challenging ideas with your collaborators and your fellow artists. that was really funny and lovely.
Yeah.
I don't know. How was it for you? Did you feel the same?
Wow. It was, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same. It's just more of a wait and see. And the response to your, like, had you start, even though it was my idea. Just kind of like, give me something to work off of, and then I'll respond to it with a film, and then you respond to mine with your film, and then we just kind of built the story based on that. I guess it was kind of like a long distance relationship, but that was kind of I don't remember if we had that previs type of concept or not, but I believe it had to deal with like you and your counterpart. So
yeah. No, I agree.
Wow. So how did you two like meet and decide that you wanted to collaborate across, an ocean? Like, that's incredible.
Well, do you want to tell the story or should I? Because I don't remember everything. I know we met in Cannes and we probably met at the parties, but I don't remember the details. That was so long ago. My memory is just. But yeah, we met in Cannes. 7 years ago.
2014.
So
that would have been the year.
7 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Good guess. Yeah, so we met in Cannes, and as it happened, we talked and said let's have a chat another day. The first question you ask in Cannes is how long do you stay? And then I was like, yeah, I'm staying a bit longer. Let's grab a coffee and talk and see. And I guess that's how it started. And we hanged out and tried to get tickets to premiere and the red carpet and stuff. And we're like, well, see you again next year, and we did.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think we met up every year I was able to make it there.
Yeah.
So, and although the last 2 years now, coming on 2 years, it seems like it's a little more French, obviously. So
yeah, it is. I have no idea. It's gonna be like it's gonna be in July this year, and I haven't decided if I'm gonna go yet. But I don't know. It's gonna be weird because I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna be like one of the first big film festival,
Yeah.
Yeah, for like 2 years almost. But so I don't know. I'll see how it goes. Of course, it's easier for me to decide at the last minute than for you. But yeah, I'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not likely we'll see a lot of the major countries that contribute to like financing for the market. They'll probably still stay away, but obviously the festival itself draws a fair crowd, but it depends on a number of factors for that. So, and I did submit The Sound of Winter for that, by the way, which did not get selected.
Oh, what a shame.
But I kind of joked with my composer about like we're sending a French film from America to French people, and it's like they probably can tell.
But technically that could have been the kind of stuff that they would have loved. Like, it's so original in itself, and the process is so original that they could have, but, Cannes is... I mean, every film festival has just, it's a festival process. You never know why your film got in or got out, or didn't go in. And it just,
Yeah, just like auditioning or just like bidding for a project.
Sometimes it's not your film. Sometimes it's because it didn't fit with the other film or with the of the theme that didn't they want to. There is so many reasons for them. Like I said, like for an audition, like all the time. I don't know if it's the same for you, but like I really rarely see a bad actor in casting. Like everybody's good. It's just somebody just is. It's not rational at the. It's just somebody you see him or her and in your head, okay, that's the person I want for my part, and it's really unfair in a way because everybody else was great, but you have no control over that. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but
Yeah, have so that's how we met. We met in Cannes. You kind of, at least we had the experience of like we kind of had mutual friends, and we had multiple years together while we were there, like Moose and a few other people.
And you came to say you came to say in Paris.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was nice. We did like a lot of sightseeing and stuff. It was amazing to see
Yeah.
outside of Cannes.
Gets to see more of France itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of those, like trying to get into parties. I remember that was like year one, just trying to network,
Yeah, that's what film festivals are for, and watching film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. By year 4, it was like a breeze, But year 1 was tough. Year 1 is like, can't even get in the door. But
Yeah.
but then you kind of learn the ways, and then it's quite the experience. And when it does come back full force, I do recommend it to every filmmaker, actor possible, because it's just a huge celebration of film, and it lasts a fortnight. So it's like, just a wonderful experience, I think. Even if you don't make it to like some of the parties, there's just so many people everywhere, and everyone's about film, and it's just the whole world,
Yeah. Sounds like an incredible environment.
Yeah.
I can't wait
Quentin,
for you guys to come back.
Yeah, Rahana.
I'll be there next time.
Yeah.
Please come.
Have you progressed in your career, like especially since the last 7 years, in your career in film as you have expected, or not?
Well, I wouldn't say as I expected, because life has a way of turning and twisting every plan you make in a different way. But as a filmmaker, maybe it's the same for you, but we're always impatient. Like, I want to do my first feature, I want to do my first TV show, I want to do my first stuff. So obviously, I'm at the point like I really, really want to do my first feature. But I'm like, it's gonna come when it's gonna come, when the time is right. Like, it's there is some stuff you can control and some other you cannot, and you just have to do your best work every time and just try to put your work out there. And like, if you have told me like 2 years ago that I would do like a boxing documentary, I would say, well, documentary is really not my style. And well, I did one, out of the blue. So you never know where it's going to take you. And, I built my production company at the same time. So obviously, I had to run that a bit more and focusing a bit more on that, in order to be able to make the feature film I want to make. So no, I wouldn't say it did go where I expected to be, but it going somewhere, hopefully. So and I'm excited to see where, it's always like new opportunities and new work, and like it, I mean, we had this, like, you got like a year of a global, virus, and everybody, was home, working at home and everything. And I really thought like I wouldn't do a lot of stuff this year. And I did like a commercial, 2 music videos for like in the past 4 months. And I never expected I would do that. And I was like, well, that's great. So you never know. It's just, I guess in film, you never know it, and a lot of stuff, but it's just the only thing I always say that you can control is that you can try to do your best work every time you have the chance. So it's a privilege that we have to work in the industry we're working, because a lot of people want to do that. And yeah, the only thing we can control, like every time I have the chance that people trust me to do a film, like a commercial, a music video, whatever the format is, like I'm going to do it like it's the last project I'm going to do and try to do my best. It's all you can really control, I guess.
Yeah. I love that mindset. Quentin, so you said that you did a documentary when you had never really ever planned to do that. That just wasn't really your style, your goal, something that you had interest in maybe. Having now done that, is that something you would potentially be interested in doing again, depending on the topic? Or are you just sort of happy that you have that experience now and that under your belt?
Yeah, depending on the topic, I'd probably do it again. Like, it's not going to be like my main goal, because I really, it's really like narrative driven the work I want to do.
yeah.
But I found some, I found some pleasure and some, joy in making a documentary because it's really different. Like, I really love the fact that, making a film is cheating. Pretty much you fake everything, and documentary is the 100 opposite. Like everything has to be real, and even if you construct a narrative based on the people you're going to interview and everything, there is obviously like a narrative like you orient, I guess, as a director, but the people in front of you, when you have the chance to interview them and ask them about their experience, for them it's real life, and I really love the fact that you have to respect that a lot and really take in what the people you interview and you meet give, what they give you. And I really found that fascinating, because once you really take your time with somebody, I mean, that was my experience with documentary, but once you really take the time to talk with them, well, the amount of emotion that can come up with that and the amount of stuff they can tell you is just amazing. And the amount of trust that you have to have with the person you're making the documentary about, or the person you're going to interview, that that level of stuff is beautiful. Just, yeah, it's I really love the process. The editing, not so much, because you have much footage. but filming it, yeah, I loved it.
Absolutely. So hopping back over to your experience in acting, of all the roles that you had, played, are there any that stand out for you where they're your favorites, and out of your whole experience?
Well, it's a small experience, but it's a really small one. Yeah, I mean, I really love I did like a web series where we were trying to subvert movie cliche, and we basically wrote that with my co-writer. We basically wrote that for ourselves, so it was really fun to explore that. Like, what would be a French James Bond? Complaining about corporate policies and and everything. What would be? So that was really fun, because we did 7 episodes, and in each one we could try to subvert something different. So it was really fun to explore. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds really fun.
And so there was this one, and the first one when I was, cast in something that I didn't direct. That was really, I mean, it was a short film and stuff, but just are you back? Yeah, just the experience of having another director working with you, and the first time, it was the first time I worked as an actor with another director. That was really interesting, and yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah. What was that? Opa? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called in French would be Oupa, and in English or not. The premise was every episode would start in film. James Bond is always a superhuman, hero or not. So you had a first pre-roll scene, like a 30-second, 1 minute scene that would show you what would happen in a Hollywood film or a French film, like a big project stuff, and then we would go back again, rewind the situation, and it would start again with the premise, okay, this is real life, what would happen? So
nice.
So that was stuff. It's online. You can still find it online on YouTube or not.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Well, I guess also for you, who or what films and people have inspired you most, or have been most influential to you up to this point?
Oh, you know the answer to that one.
But I don't.
Well,
oh yeah. Well, people won't have the video, I guess, but you know what this is.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, Star Wars is really the reason I wanted to become a filmmaker. I've been lucky enough. When I was 7 years old, it was in 1997. They re-released the special edition of the original trilogy in movie theater, and my dad took me to see A New Hope at the Grand Rex, which is one of the emblematic movie theater in Paris, one of the biggest one and oldest and really beautiful movie theater. If you ever come to Paris and you have one place, let's watch a film, go there. It's beautiful movie theater. And well, I was 7. I watched A New Hope, and I was like, "Oh gosh, that's what I want to do." Like I was so shaken by it. Like I remember, like my dad bought me like a croissant, a pain au chocolat afterward, and I lost one of my teeth biting into it.
Oh,
so much emotion. So yeah. So I like to think that's the day I knew I wanted to. I was like, I want to make that. I want to to try to find a way to make that stuff. So yeah, Star Wars obviously is like a huge part of it, and then I'm not gonna be really. I'm influenced a lot by American, filmmaking and all the great ones, the Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese. I mean, all that generation, all the new Hollywood and that stuff. Just it's what I grew up with in a way. It's what my parents would watch. So obviously, you as a kid, you just soaked it all in, and it stays, I guess. Like the kind of, usually listen to the kind of music that your parents used to listen. So yeah, Ridley Scott, Michael Mann, I guess all that big name filmmakers today. That's kind of my heroes. Like I want to do that.
So, is there something that now at this point in your career you're really wanting to do next, or eventually? Like, what's the next step for you?
A feature film. Yeah, I really would love to go and go at a feature, and I have a couple of screenplay ready. I got a couple in French, I got a couple in English, and obviously as a first time filmmaker, you have to find like a good story that represent what you want to do, but you also have to be reasonable instead of budget, and knowing that it's going to be a first film, so your budget is going to be low. So what kind of story can you tell within that space? And so yeah, I'm finishing one. I guess should be like ready in a month. It's in English, like a small sci-fi flick. Two main characters, and gonna try to push this one. Trying to find American and English investor, and try to do this one. So that's the next step.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in doing that, as well as other films, what is the biggest challenge for you in making a film?
In narrative, or on filmmaking in general, as as I do music video, commercial and stuff.
Let's do both. Let's hear. Yeah.
Well, from the standpoint of my production company, it's meeting the client expectation. Clients will come to you with a budget, with something in mind, and 9 times out of 10 they want something that looks like a big blockbuster, and they have the budget of a French indie film. And finding solution to that usually is the biggest challenge. Like, okay, how can I do something that has the visual and sound quality that they want, that tells the stories that they want, but for a fraction of the budget that you would need to do it. Especially in music videos, budget is really really low, and everybody wants have a nice looking music video, and yeah, the challenge is usually finding that balance between, okay, this we can do with your budget, this we absolutely cannot do, and it's not that I don't want to, but it's gonna cost you more. So finding that balance between what you can do and when you need to say, I cannot do that because it's gonna put too much work on my team, on myself, on the project and everything. So that'd be the main challenge. And for the feature, well, there are 2 aspects, I guess. Well, the first is finding the money to do it. That's always struggle, every actor struggle to find directors that want to work with them, and every director try to find a producer and an investor that want to find in the film. So everybody's chasing somebody else. From the production side, that would be it. And then it's just artistically, if that even means something, it would be just knowing when your script is ready. It's something I find really tough is like knowing when, okay, this is, I can put that to the, and a script's going to evolve in pre-production, in filming, in post-production, but knowing at that stage when you have to stop writing and start, okay, putting it out there and say, okay, that's ready. And it's always really difficult because you always want to tweak things, like, oh, but maybe if I change that scene, or maybe if I change that stuff or that line, it's going to be a bit better. But if you do that you're never going to go to production. You're never going to sell it to anyone. And you can write the best work and do the best work, but putting it out there is the first step, I guess. So.
Mm-hmm. And also just being able to just do it sometimes and just prove that you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is kind of the new way, if you will, because I felt like I just had to do something, and it was Electric Addiction, and that was the film. It was not scripted, so I look forward to doing my first scripted feature film, but
cannot wait to see that.
But yeah, I'll let you know. I think it should be available internationally right now through Vimeo.
Yeah.
But there are just so many obstacles financially. However, you're in France. That's a little different than the U.S., I'll say, because you could do like co-productions with other countries. I don't know if that's something you can tap into or what the process is there. Could you maybe speak to that a little bit?
Well, the French film system, not to get too technical, so stop me if it gets too technical, because it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
No, please, we all need to know this.
I don't want to bore everybody listening to this with the French film industry.
Well, maybe someone here wants to film in
in
France.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you a foreign filmmaker and you want to shoot in French, the first thing you have to do is contact the CNC, which is the Center for National Cinematography. It's a public organization that funds, helps, that support, basically the film industry in France. And it's both like a blessing and a curse. It's amazing because with that you can, basically the CNC can finance like a lot of your film, of your budget with public money. Which I guess something from your point of view is really strange and weird and never heard of. But the opposite is that they usually only found some very specific film. And like the way the French system work basically is that, as a producer, you will not make a lot of money with ticket sales. Because the market is really small, and especially if you're filming in French, well, you will sell it to a couple of other territories in the world, but it's not the way you're going to make your money. The way you're going to make your money back is by selling it to French TV channel, because they're going to put it on a Saturday night or Sunday night in prime time, and basically the commercial break is what is money from the commercial break is what the TV channel is going to pay you back, and that's how you make your money. So that's really great if you want to do that kind of film and stuff, but the opposite, like nobody's going to put like an indie horror film or sci-fi flick on a Saturday night in prime time, because that's not what people want to see. They want to see like a comedy, or they want to see like a cop thriller. So it's really depending. Like the French system is really nice for a lot of stuff, and it's really really wonderful that we have that, because it helped the French film industry survive in the age of everybody can make films and everywhere, and I think we still have like a some kind of prestige in a way, in quotes, if it means even something, but we're still there. Like we made like we do in France like more than 250 films a year, I guess, or maybe more. Check my numbers. So that's amazing for countries that's not so big in terms of population and stuff. But the downside is if you want to do if you're a French director, you want to film a film in France, but you want to do it in English, well, they're gonna say, can't you do it in French? It's like, it's like wow. You will not have access to the same funding, to the same help if you want to do, and it's all of a sudden it's becoming really more difficult to do it. So You're saying Sound of Winter had a better chance in France than it did in Minnesota to get funding. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, you could have funded that in France because if you would have wanted to do it on French, ground, well, the CNC would have been wonderful. Where do you want to shoot it? And then they would have gone to the local aids, to local funding to do. Okay, where do you want to shoot it in French? Because every region has its own cultural support, and they all have money to give and everything. So, for example, like if you want to shoot in Paris or the Paris area, obviously a lot of people want to do that, so you can have less money. But if you want to go like in some less explored part of France, well, all of a sudden they're going to be really happy to have you there, and they're going to be really eager to give you more money for you to go there, like a, kind of like a tax incentive, I guess, in the US, depending on the state. So it's not tax incentive for us, but it's kind of the same principle. Like, come in our region. We have beautiful mountains. It's gonna cost.
Had it not been 2020, that could have worked.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with a French co-production.
Yeah. Had it not been a pandemic going on, it would have been great.
But now you know for the future, Alan.
That's right. Now I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, as you two and you are US based, you can really tap in a lot of French. I'm trying to find the name. I can send you that later. But there is like a specific branch of French, public funding that deals with American filmmaker and foreign filmmakers that want to know. Okay, I want to do a project in French. How can I do that? And they really are there to help you find the best way to do it. So that's really neat.
Yeah.
Wow. I just lost my place. I'm so sorry. All right, Quentin. Switching from like challenges when it comes to filmmaking, specifically do you look forward to the most when you start a new project? Like, what are you most excited about?
The sleepless night. Joke aside, no, I'm looking forward the most to be on set. It's really the place I love the most on the film. I mean, I guess like every director, you're involved obviously in pre-production, in post-production area, but being on set is just that place that I long to come back every time. And, and when you're in there, it's like everything is a mess and it's stressful but it's like you want it again every time. It's like an addiction to it. Like it's the energy, the creativity that there is on a film set. And it just, that's really what I look for every time. And the thing I guess I least look for is the first cut.
Oh, yeah. Aw.
Because that's the lowest point usually in a film, because that's the point you say, oh gosh, what have I done? I should never make a film again.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
After Electric Addiction, it's just like, oh, kill me now. It's just like, this is never going to see the light of day,
Yeah, you know the feeling. It's exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, can I make that even okay? It's not, it's like when you write a screenplay and it's like, oh, this is going to be the best film in the world. It's going to be amazing. People are going to cry and laugh and have emotion and stuff. And then you are the first, you sing the first cut and you're like, how can I just make it watchable? That I will be fine with watchable. Having a film would be nice. But it's a process, and step by step, you refine it and you find the balance, and it becomes a film. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, what is next for you? Like, what's on deck right now?
Well, things are still a bit like blurry because we're not out of the wood yet in terms of the COVID-19 and everything. So things are slowly going back to kind of normal, I guess, or new normal. So on the short term, it's like really picking up the paces again with the company and with the project, and it's started again with the vaccine, and we can do it's easier to find new project and stuff. And finishing the feature film screenplay, that's a big one. And trying to put that that's the midterm goal, like really this one. You got the short one with the company and just getting things back again to rolling, and obviously the feature and narrative driven project.
So lots of like writing and networking maybe.
Exactly.
Through the net, of course.
And going back to the cinemas, like just going back to see a movie, like cinemas are being open again, like since last Wednesday, and I haven't found the time to go to watch a film yet, but I just want to go back into that place.
Yeah.
Is there a specific movie you're excited to go see?
I missed I don't know if it's called in English, but Drunk. by Thomas Winterberg that was at the Oscar with Matt Mikkelsen. I missed this one like 6 months ago when it was in theater, and they're re-releasing it. And it's one of the few Oscar films I haven't seen, so I'm really curious to see this
Another
one.
round here.
Yeah,
probably.
exactly. Yeah, that's the one.
okay.
Another one. Yeah, that's the one. It's called Drunk in French.
Nice.
I don't know why, but and well, I was really pissed with the delay of the Mission Impossible. No, James Bond and Dune. Obviously, I cannot wait to see Denis Villeneuve Dune. I'm really mad he's doing that because I really wanted to do Dune again, and because I know he's going to do it perfectly. So it's like there will be no remake after Villeneuve's Dune. So gotta find something else to do.
Yeah, that'll be a really good one.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see this one.
Nice. So Quentin, where can people find your work? Like, where can they watch your films? And if they wanted to contact you about working together, how can they do that?
Well, they can find me on my website, which is quentindupuy.com. So Dupuy for the last name. And they can find me on Instagram and Twitter and everything, but mostly Instagram at the next Quentin. So yeah, but yeah, if you type my name on Google and film, you should probably find my website and my Vimeo or my Instagram and everything, and and find my films, hopefully.
Fantastic.
All right, Quentin. Our last question, big one.
Oh gosh, I'm not ready. Okay.
What do you want people to are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay?
Let's go. Shoot.
Okay. What do you want people to remember most about you?
Well, I don't know, if people remember something, like I said, like grasp something from my work that helped them in life, that'd be a win for me. Like if you just, if one day people that see my work just connect with it and say, okay, that's, speaks to me internally, I guess that's the most beautiful, gift and stuff that that I want people to have. Like, if I've been useful in a way, like with my work, like if my work has, I don't know if that makes sense, but if my work helps maybe some people to go through the life and stuff, that's just the most beautiful gift, I guess, I can have. And I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if just one people, it's not it's not like a question of like my film or not. It does, but just if just one people, when they see something I've done, just get something out of it, I'm like, that's it for me. That's perfect. Like,
yeah,
glad I could be there. Even if it's a hate, like if you hate my film, at least you have a reaction to it. So hopefully I prefer something different, but at least you got something out of it. So.
Yeah, to have that connection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
absolutely.
To find that connection, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, Quentin, thank you so much for taking the time, especially like Alan mentioned. I mean, there's a big time difference, and we really appreciate you hopping on and talking to us and just letting us learn more about you and your experiences and what you do. It's been really fun.
Well, thank you very much again for having me. It's been a blast to talk to you and to have me like in film in Minnesota, because as you said, I'm not really in Minnesota, so it felt real special to be invited to your podcast, guys. And thank you very much for your time and your patience and and my fresh accent that you have to endure.
Love the French accent. If you want to even say bye in French, I think that would be totally perfect.
I'll do that then. Au revoir à tous et merci beaucoup.
I love that. Okay. Well, I can't say that any better than he just did. So thank you all for listening. We'll see you again next time. This is Film Minnesota.